Hello again, and welcome to a weekly Torah study series, Bytes of Torah, with Sam Stern, the Rabbinic Intern at USC Hillel. First, we'll begin with our blessing for the study of Torah as we prepare to soak in the wisdom of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. And remember, if you say Amen afterwards, you get full credit for the blessing. Shout out to a teacher of mine, Rabbi Elisa Capel, for that nifty ending. Now, let's do as the blessing says and busy ourselves with some Torah. In this week's portion, Parashat Tzav, we are going to look at Vayikra or Leviticus chapter 6, verses 3 through 6. Right near the beginning of the Parsha, between priests wearing their alternative outfits on one side and the ritual of the meal offering on the other, we are told of the Eish Tamid, or the eternal flame. You might recognize the term Eish Tamid because the synagogue you usually frequent probably has one in front of the ark or on the bima where the Torahs are kept. Unlike in our synagogues in the present day, these fires weren't electric or a cleverly hidden gas line. The priests were charged with keeping this thing going day and night. There is an extra word here, though, that shows we need to pay attention. In verse 5, we are told that the fire on the Mizbeach, or on the altar, should be tukadbo, or it should be kept going. And why might there be a verse 6 beginning that looks like Eish Tamid Tukad, that a perpetual fire should be kept burning? A perpetual fire would, by definition, be one that keeps burning and doesn't go out. We know that the Torah doesn't use many words when one would do, unless there is additional meaning conveyed by the additional words. What might that meaning be here? We'll explore that question more at our live Torah study on Thursday, but I'd like to offer a short drash. When we visualize things that are holy, we often look to the big, beautifully choreographed wedding or the bar mitzvah or confirmation ceremony. We think of the High Holy Day service, accompanied by the cantor's dramatic chanting and the rich, polished performances of instrumentalists and choir. We are filled with awe and the memory of experiences that seem to lift us above the ordinary. It's easy to forget, however, that each of those moments requires monumental effort and painstaking attention to detail behind the scenes. The bar mitzvah demands years of preparation, mastery of Hebrew reading and cantillation, detailed knowledge of the Shabbat morning service, careful study of the meaning of one's Torah and Haftorah portions, preparation of a sermon, selecting those to be called up for aliyot, preparing those all-important parental words of praise, and choreographing the hakafah and all traffic on the bima. Similar care must be taken with the flowers, robes, speeches, Torah readings, and projects for confirmation. Effortless High Holy Day services don't just happen. They require hours of choir rehearsals, rabbinic sermon agony, a bevy of phone calls, letters, and emails regarding pulpit honors, lesson plans for the children's services, shofar blowing workshops, breadcrumbs for tashlich, memorial books for Yizkor, and the often maddening details of distributing parts and maintaining contact with those receiving pulpit honors. Okay, this is how it was with the ancient priests. While the sacrificial rituals, as well as those of ordination, were filled with pomp and drama, behind the scenes, priests had to contend with a variety of mundane and repetitive tasks, including removing ashes from the altar and stoking the perpetual fire. Today, the recognition of sacred schlepping holds great significance, particularly when we think of the Jewish home, which many of us are stuck in right now. Anyone who has had to put together or helped a loved one put together a Passover Seder knows how arduous the preparations are. Even the act of preparing the kitchen itself requires days of organizing and planning and hours upon hours of scrubbing, boiling, vacuuming, cleaning, and so on. The same principle applies to any mitzvah, be it ritual, ethical, or communal. When we are willing to perform it fully, even when it requires a considerable amount of drudgery and schlepping, we create the sacred space that permits God to dwell among us. Okay, please join us on Thursday, and please continue to fight on, even in trying times.